Henry Ford, a name synonymous with innovation, industry, and the revolutionary Model T, was also a figure deeply associated with the concept of fair wages. While his legacy is complex and multifaceted, the idea of him as the man who paid fair wages is a significant part of his story, particularly during a time when labor practices were often exploitative. Born in 1863 in Spring Wells, Michigan, Ford's early life was spent on a farm, instilling in him a practical, hands-on approach to problem solving. His fascination with machines quickly overshadowed his interest in agriculture. He tinkered, he learned, and eventually he pursued a career in engineering, landing a job at the Edison Illuminating Company in Detroit. It was there, in the burgeoning industrial heartland, that his dreams of building an affordable automobile began to solidify. The early years of the Ford Motor Company, founded in 1903, were marked by relentless experimentation and fierce competition. Ford's vision was clear: to create a car for the masses, not just the wealthy elite. This vision culminated in the introduction of the Model T in 1908. Affordable, reliable, and easy to maintain, the Tin Lizzie rapidly changed the landscape of America, putting the dream of car ownership within reach for millions. However, the rapid success of the Model T brought with it significant challenges in the workplace. The assembly line, a Ford innovation that dramatically increased production efficiency, also made factory work monotonous and incredibly demanding. Turnover rates were astronomically high, sometimes reaching 300 to 400% annually. Workers, feeling like cogs in a giant machine, often left for other opportunities, disrupting production and costing the company valuable time and resources. Henry Ford, ever the pragmatist, recognized that something had to change. He believed that a stable, motivated workforce was crucial for sustained success. This belief, combined with a desire to share the prosperity his company was generating, led to one of his most audacious and impactful decisions: the implementation of the $5 day. On January 5, 1914, Ford Motor Company announced that it would double its workers' wages from $2.34 to $5 for an 8-hour day. This was truly revolutionary at a time when the average factory wage was far lower. The news sent shockwaves through the industrial world. Competitors scoffed, economists predicted ruin, and many saw it as an act of sheer madness. But Ford's motives were not purely altruistic. They were also deeply rooted in shrewd business strategy. He understood that well-paid workers would be more loyal, more productive, and less likely to seek employment elsewhere. The $5 day drastically reduced turnover, saving the company immense costs in training new employees. Moreover, Ford envisioned his workers as potential customers. If they earned enough money, they could afford to buy the very cars they were building, thereby expanding his market. The impact of the $5 day was immediate and profound. Thousands flocked to Detroit, desperate for a chance to work for Ford. The lines outside the Highland Park plant stretched for miles. While the new wage came with certain conditions, workers had to demonstrate clean living and good citizenship, often subject to oversight by Ford's sociological department. The promise of a decent living wage was a powerful magnet. The increased wages allowed Ford workers to purchase homes, send their children to school, and participate more fully in the burgeoning consumer economy. It helped create a stable middle class and set a new standard for industrial wages. pressuring other companies to improve their own pay scales. Henry Ford, despite his often autocratic leadership style and controversial views on other matters, had undeniably elevated the economic standing of countless working-class families. His philosophy, though not without its paternalistic elements, fundamentally shifted the perception of labor. He argued that businesses had a responsibility to their employees and that fair compensation was not just good for the workers, but good for business and society as a whole. This radical idea, born out of necessity and a touch of idealism, cemented his image as the man who paid fair wages. As the decades passed, the Ford Motor Company continued to grow, becoming a global automotive giant. While the complexities of labor relations and economic policies evolved, the legacy of the $5 day remained a powerful symbol of a time when one man dared to challenge conventional wisdom, and in so doing, transformed the lives of millions and redefined the relationship between employer and employee.